Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Daily Compliance News for October 21, 2024, the Pillow Talk edition. And we begin with that story from Bloomberg, which reports that there are text messages showing that the law firm of Jones, Day, and Walker conspired or at least maneuvered to get the judge's girlfriend to handle bankruptcy cases. This is the first evidence we've seen of the law firm maneuvering to get in front of Judge Jones. Judge Jones. And the law firm had said they didn't know anything about this. Oops. Unclear whether the judge was in on this scam or not. Next up from the BBC, Donald Trump says he claims he received a call from Apple chief Tim Cook on Thursday to express concerns about the EU. He said that Cook told him he was concerned about the recent financial penalties issued by the EU of 13 billion euros by Ireland for Apple to make unpaid taxes. There's no comment from Apple about this, interestingly enough. And if this is true, it's a very interesting position by Apple. Next up, from the New York Times, leaders of Boeing's largest union said on Saturday they reached a negotiated proposal with Boeing for a new contract and are going to put it up for a vote to end a long and expensive strike that Boeing is going through. Really the last thing Boeing needs now. But the strike by the union's more than 33,000 members who build commercial airplanes has taken a notable toll on Boeing, obviously already in dire financial straits. And our final story certainly reminded me of New Coke, if you're old enough to remember New Coke, but the new Boston women's soccer team in the National Women's Soccer League unveiled new name and branding with a splashy ad campaign saying the following: sports teams in Boston's had too many balls. I wonder what on earth they could have been referring to. No, this was the first women's sports team in Boston. And of course, Boston has lots of other sports teams, some doing well, some not so well. But you got to wonder, does anybody ever listen to what they are saying before they put it out? Not only on social media, not only on the public airways, it splashes it across billboards in Boston. So, too many balls, well, at least it's gone. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.